Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it, How do you know you found what you're looking for? This is what I mean. We hear a lot about enlightenment and awakening, even love and everything. And the problem is that we have concepts and ideas of what that is. But the thing is that if we don't have the direct experience of what that is, if we don't know what that is, how do I know I found it? You see? I know I found what I'm looking for if I know what that is. For example, this is a red t-shirt and this is a white t-shirt, okay? So you know what a red t-shirt is and a white t-shirt is within the context of the dream, of course. So if you ask me for a white t-shirt and I give you this, immediately you go, no, that's not it. See? If you ask me for a red t-shirt and I give you this, you grab it immediately without thinking about it, because you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that's what a red t-shirt is. So, how do you know you're enlightened? How do you know you are awakened, or how do you know what that is? As long as you have concepts and ideas of what that is, you'll be chasing that idea, overlooking the possibility that you are already that awakening that you're searching. Same thing with love. If we have ideas and concept about what love is, we're chasing that, but in reality we don't know what love is. All we know is that we're chasing an idea. But what if love is already what you are? You see, the spiritual search begins usually, not always, but for the most part, tend to happen when people are experiencing suffering, a sense of limitation. Why? Because the nature of our being is it's wholeness. So we are already whole, always have been, but we feel that we are limited, you see, and there's something doesn't feel quite right, and we're trying to chase that wholeness through acquiring stuff, pursuing things, objects, and when that doesn't do it, then we try to find that wholeness through some sort of seeking, which is referred to as a spiritual search. But even that is overshadowing what you already are. The love, the peace, the abundance, the happiness that you already are. I don't like to use the word abundance because people usually associate with things, abundance, a lot of things. No, abundance, I'm talking the sense of well-being, fulfillment that you experience no matter what you have or you don't have. Is the peace in which you rest by recognition of what you are. And for the most part, it doesn't have to be this way, but I can only speak from my experience. What helped the most to really recognize that is when I would find myself experiencing situations that the mind would translate into difficult or fearful, because in those moments I was able to recognize, again, it's not that I did it because I'm not a doer, but within the context of this experience, that's the language we have to use. So what I've experienced is that when I was dealing with the most challenging situations, I was not dealing with any challenging situation at all. A situation may present itself, but what I was dealing is with the thought that it was interpreting the situation. So by not believing the thought, I was able to rest in that, which is where these videos are pointing to all the time. And if the thought arises, yeah, okay, you can rest in that, but if you do that, then they'll take away your stuff. They will, you will not be able to survive or something. You see, this is the problem here. That also is a belief. That also is a thought. But in my experience, what I found out is that if I don't believe whatever thought the mind is trying to force or trying to place, to cover up the fact that I am, all that there was happening is just the beingness that I am and the play unfolding on its own. And whatever needed to be done was done, and whatever not needed to be done was not done. And you may say, but what if they take your stuff? Well, the way I see it is like that. If you think that anything here is yours, we have a problem. Nothing here is mine. I don't own anything. We don't own anything. We don't even own our body. You see? The place or the space in which you're resting is pure beingness. And that beingness is what we're searching for our whole life, because it's been overlooked, that's all. You see? And there's a natural tendency to return to that beingness. That calling for that beingness is what leads us to start searching, to find, to look. And then what happens is that the sense of identity comes up with a concept called awakening or enlightenment, and turn it into an experience. Some may call it esoteric or supernatural, or some have ideas about it. And that itself is overshadowing the beingness in which you're resting right now. So what is being done with these videos is pointing to that beingness right now, not focusing on the details of the movie, which is just nothing but thoughts. Right now, life is, and you are life, and this is it. The peace, the happiness, the love, whatever you want to call it, just take the concepts out of the way. But everything you've been searching for is what you're resting in as that. You see, right now you are the love that you're seeking. You are the plentiful, the fulfillment. You are the peace. You are that joy you're seeking so much. But the problem is that if you have an idea of what love is, or joy is, or abundance is, or whatever, now you're overlooking the treasure, which is what you are, and now you're looking for breadcrumbs that are disguised as treasures. You see? So we're trying to find out what love is, we're trying to find out what enlightenment is, we're trying to find out what awakening is, not realizing that all of these are thoughts, they are concepts that are overshadowing the fact that you are, and you are being right now. And if you tell me, yes, this sounds great, but I mean, look at the problems that I have. Again, I am not talking about denial here, I'm talking about looking. Right now, whatever issue you may claim that you have, it is a thought, and that is a fact. It's not anything else. It's a thought. It doesn't matter what your situation is, where you may be right now. The fact is that right now, the only thing that may be overshadowing the space which you are, which is love, essence, whatever you cannot describe, that is overshadowed by that thought. The invitation here is, what happens if you don't believe that thought? Right now. Tell me what happens if you don't believe that thought. And what I mean tell me is not that I want an answer. I'm just simply pointing to, for you, so you can really have the direct experience, which is what it is anyway, which is what is right now. I'm not asking you to control the mind. I'm not asking you to control the thoughts. I'm not asking the thoughts to disappear. I'm pointing to the obvious, and the obvious is right now. What is the direct experience right now? What is your experience, or what is the experience? Let's not even personalize it. Right now, what is the experience if you don't believe whatever thought is showing up right now? You see, you don't have an answer for that. You only have the experience. That experience is the famous awakening. That experience is the famous enlightenment. That experience is love. That experience is the peace that surpasses all understanding. You see, that it's been there the whole time and will remain forever in eternity. All we're noticing is how that is simply overshadowed by the conditioning, the thoughts that appear. That's all. This is all we're doing here. You see, you didn't have to return to that place. You don't have to go anywhere. You already are that. But if I have concepts and ideas of what I think enlightenment is, because maybe I might have an experience and I think, oh, that's what it is, then you'll be searching for the rest of your life, because you're still feeding the sense of identity, which is the seeming me that claims that it's going to get something in the future, overshadowing the fact that you are. And right now you are. And like I said, in my experience, when I find myself dealing with all these different situations that life will present, interestingly enough, these are the greatest gift, because it gave me the opportunity to really rest in being. You see? It's like working a muscle. If you want to grow the muscle, you have to work it. How do you grow the recognition that you are? Remember, it's not growing in time and it's going to get bigger. No, but again, this is just the word that came through, so I hope you understand. So how do you solidify, or how do you solidify the fact that you are? Well, when you see that life presents thoughts, experiences that suggest that you are not. You know, I am not at peace, I am not happy, I am not love, I am not whatever. Well, these I am not are just concepts that you have superimposed on the fact that you are all of that. I am not abundance. Why? Because I don't have enough money in the bank. See, you're missing the mark. You're abundance because you are. Money in the bank is just a detail. Yeah, but if I don't have money in the bank, implies that that's going to happen. These are thoughts, you see? These are thoughts. But right now, what is true right now? If you don't believe any thoughts, what is true right now? The only thing that is true is being, is beingness. That is the only thing that is true. Beingness will remain in spite of what may be happening on the surface. No matter what the changes, thoughts, situations, or experiences, sensations, it doesn't matter. All of that seems to happen in being, and you are being. The psychological mind is going to go crazy with this, because that's how it's being dismantled. It wants to fix something. But there's nothing to fix. Beingness doesn't need to be fixed. Just need to be recognized. But it's not conceptually recognized. You don't recognize beingness by going to the mind saying, oh, I am beingness. No. Beingness is recognized when the mind is out of the way, when you don't believe in it. So right now, if you're not believing any thoughts, I didn't say they will not be there. They will be there. That's what they do. That's their job. If you don't believe any of the thoughts, what remains? You see? And now, all we have to look is when a sensation, a contraction may come in the way that you want to label it fear, concern, worry. Just notice that it's just a sensation. And at the same time, notice that thoughts are trying to somehow make a story around it, and you go back again and realize, I know nothing, I am. And you rest in the I am. You see? I am. That's it. I am, as the sun now is coming out of the clouds and is hitting me right in the face. So right now, are you not? The fact is that you are. You see how obvious? Yeah, but there's a situation, it's a thought, it's a thought. We're not in denial of anything, we're just pointing to the fact. The fact is I am. You rest right now, beingness. If you're experiencing right now beingness, without believing whatever thought is trying to get in the way, yeah, you can see the thought, it can be seen but not believed in. I got news for you. You are enlightened. Anyway, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.